So this is one of those cautionary tales. Hey folks, everything new under the sun. This is a video about something that could have killed us, and certainly there were alarms going off. So every year you need to clean out your flue. You need to clean out your wood furnace of all the ash buildup, and we go through about 8 cords a year. So that's a lot of ash. So you can see here. This for our furnace, it's quite a large furnace, and I basically transferred probably about 6 or 8 of these buckets by the time I was actually done. So we dig it out from the furnace and we dump it in this pile. At this point it's still hot and quite dusty, so it's something you don't want to breathe in. But what led up to this was that the draft, there was no draft. There was something wrong with the furnace, so I started cleaning it out, because that's what you do if it's not working very well. You start cleaning out the furnace, taking out all the ashes to get it to a point where there's no blockages, etc. Come to find out later in the video, which we'll see, is that the issue was not so much down here, although it was a good time to clean it out. The cleaner it is down here, you can see the coil, the water coil on the left-hand side. The cleaner it is there, the faster it is able to heat up the water. So cleaning it out also heats up the water well. Here I'm just checking the temperature of the flue, because what I want to do next is then take off some of that piping and just see what's in there. Here's the clean out on our chimney. This was before I did any sweeping of the chimney. I wanted to see how much was in there. The loose stuff that flakes off, that's what you see at the bottom. The hole there on the very bottom is the opening to the actual furnace itself. And so I'll try and get some shots in the next clip here of that, as I was trying to look down there to see if there were any blockages, any major blockages there, before I attempted taking it off. The end result of this is we actually had, at some point as I was trying to burn out the chimney, which is what you're supposed to do, we had the carbon monoxide alarm go off, and it spiked to 157 parts per million carbon monoxide, and that's within a dangerous level. 150 to 200 is the dangerous level. You don't want to be in that for very long at all. You can see the ash buildup at the bottom of the main part of the pipe. It's like a 10-inch pipe going straight to the furnace, and so there was about half an inch of ash there. So I was kind of dumping these out. I don't clean these with a brush. It gets so hot around in this section. Here you're looking at the damper in the furnace itself, and I also took a shot back to the inside of that as well. It was pretty dusty, but again, as we'll find out later, there's a buildup of the ash there that you can see. As we'll find out later, that wasn't the actual issue, although cleaning it out helped. Here's where we've given up. Well, we've not given up, but we've cleaned the bottom end of the chimney, and I was going to stop and just try that, but then I thought, nah, I'd better go ahead and actually finish the sweeping of the chimney. You got to do this at minimum once a year, but with the really cold temperatures, minus 16, minus 20 degrees Celsius, it's a perfect situation where the chimney itself doesn't get to a good temperature to continue to burn out the creosote. So at a certain section in the chimney, which we'll see shortly, it builds up, and that's where it causes the issue. So I take up my chimney sweep sections, and then in the next part of the video here, as I come down the stairs, I'll narrate and I'll tell you exactly what I found. Alright, well, I got the camera going down there, and I came up to sweep the chimney after doing all the work down at the bottom, cleaning up the chimney there. I couldn't see any creosote in my chimney. All the way up looked okay. I said, well, maybe I'll just sweep it to be sure there's nothing jammed up there, although I could see some sunlight. Let's take a look at what is causing the lack of draft, lack of airflow in my chimney. There it is. Let me turn the light on. There's a problem with the lack of airflow. A little bit of heat coming up through here. Let's see if I can go down. This is an 8-inch pipe, and you can see how much of a hole I got there. I got That's about a 2-inch long by 1-inch wide, 2-inch up and down, 1-inch wide hole. This is all that we had to exhaust the fire and the oil furnace. This is one of those things that causes chimney fires and smoke in your house, and could potentially kill you. So we're going to take our brush and we're going to knock that out. Let's see if we can knock it out with my hand first. Well, I got the camera rolling here. I don't know if I can get down in there with my hand and knock it out at the same time. Probably not. You know what? I'm gonna take the end of my brush and knock this. Now I got a 4-inch by 4-inch hole there. There we go. Now below that there's not a ton of creosote buildup. But I'm going to sweep. There's just kind of bubbles on the side. That was the major thing. And this happened to me last year as well. Getting a bunch of smoke or ash flying up there. Now that there's a good draft going on. But this is why we were having trouble with our draft, and our fire wasn't sucking in air. So that'll do it. Let's get to sweeping. So here we get to sweeping. I've got about 40 feet worth of lengths of fiberglass, lengths of sweeping, I don't know what you call it, sweeping sticks, with a metal sweep on the end. The size of the pipe is 8 inches, so it's an 8-inch brush, metal brush. There you can see the length of that fiberglass rod, which comes in those 6-foot sections or whatever they are. After sweeping it, then you got to come out and you got to come down and clean out the clean-out hole again, because of course you've pushed all the ash and creosote down to the bottom, so you can see there just the top is visible, so it hasn't completely caked it up. So the next thing I do is get my shot vac. This is all dry, it's cold, it's not hot at all, so it's a perfect job for the vacuum, because there's so much dust here. The vacuum is the shot vac is kind of the best way to handle it, so as to not make any more dust, and you don't want to be breathing this stuff in, to be sure. But anyways, that's kind of the cautionary tale, because we did have a carbon monoxide detector going off when I was trying to burn out the chimney, trying to get rid of that creosote buildup at the very top that we looked at. At some point, it's not going to burn itself out anymore. You just got to go up and sweep the chimney. There's nothing. And if that would have closed over completely during the middle of the night, for example, that could have caused the whole house to fill with smoke. So it's something to be aware of, and just a kind of a look inside the detail of what the chimney looks like at that point. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll leave it there, and we'll see you guys in the next video.